shedding 6 times. What is going on, Horror Gang? How's everybody doing tonight? Once again, I'm sorry for the delay. I just wanted to get everything put together. Try to put my background together for, the background I have set up for the channel, for the stream. Unfortunately, for some reason, my internet is acting funky. You know what I mean? So didn't get to put all the snazzy, good-looking stuff in the background like I wanted to. But thank you for your patience. Sorry for the delay again. But once again, everybody, this is I Shot Him Six Times YouTube horror movie channel. As you know, I'm your host, Marcus, but you can either call me I Shot Him Six Times, or Marcus, whatever you prefer. Thank you guys for your support. If you're watching this stream so far, we got 3 people on the stream. I've seen a couple comments in here. Bob Hunt, thank you for your patience. Savannah Hunt, thank you. I appreciate that compliment for the thumbnail. I try my best to try to be as snazzy as possible with the stream and try to do as best as I can to make everything look at least decent. You know what I mean? Make it look interesting. Don't want everything to look kind of boring. DJ question mark, sorry, was trying to get everything put together. You know what I mean? Was trying to get everything set up for the stream. Once again, sorry for the delay, but thank you guys for your patience. But once again, guys, this is the first edition of Slasher Sunday. So from now on, every Sunday at 8 o'clock, and I'm going to do my best to make sure it's at 8, but at 8 o'clock, we'll go live. What's up, DJ the God, Bird Gamer? Everybody's in the chat. What's going on? But every Sunday at 8 o'clock, we'll go live, do a Slasher Sunday, talk about Halloween, Scream, or whatever other slasher movies that are coming out or that are out there, even some old school throwbacks that we might want to talk about and touch on, etc. So that's what Slasher Sunday is going to be all about. I appreciate you guys' support and joining me on this stream. Love to do these type of live discussions and theorize and get you guys' opinion and see if they match up with mine. And even if they don't match up with mine, it's always good to have these type of discussions, just because in case, even if we don't agree with each other, your ideas could obviously open up my mind to, maybe that's something I didn't think about before in terms of whatever movie we're talking about. So, what I mean? Like I always say, hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about whatever we're talking about. And like I said, Slasher Sundays, this is going to be, I think every Sunday night. And I also got other live streams coming. Tomorrow will be Shoot At Me Mondays, Watch Party Wednesdays. Thursday will be Throwback Thursdays, to where we do anything throwback related, old school horror movies. Talking about the 70s, 80s. Hell, we'll even dive into the 60s. You know what I mean? But once again, this is Halloween Ends / Scream 6 live stream. We're going to do a Q&A discussions. This is also a subathon. So anybody who hasn't subscribed to the channel yet, please shoot that like button, subscribe to the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. So I'll hit that notification icon to get all the latest content updates. I want to get into some Halloween Ends and Scream discussion. I have a lot of theories on both of these movies, and I would like to hear some of you guys' theories as well. So I guess let's delve into it. I want to start on Halloween Ends first. So with that being said, obviously they had the CinemaCon event. I did a video about it the other day. If you haven't viewed it, go check that out. But we're also going to talk about it right now. They had the CinemaCon event, and obviously David Gordon Green, Jamie Lee Curtis, etc. was there. They had a whole montage of all the movies, etc., with Laurie narrating. And then they also did a teaser trailer to where everybody's talking about the scene in the kitchen with Laurie and Michael. Apparently, Laurie gets an upper hand, etc. And I really found that part of the article and what everybody was saying very, very interesting, because I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think a lot of us are going into Halloween Ends with a lot of uncertainty. DJ the God, I'm currently working on a Halloween Resurrection sequel fan film called Halloween Retribution. Okay, definitely going to have to check that out, man. You know what I mean? I'm all about fan films. I actually want to eventually get into doing some fan film work myself. So that is definitely something I will check out. It's always something about the Halloween franchise. I always said about, like, after Halloween Resurrection and stuff, I always wanted them to kind of go back and peel the curtain back on John Tate's character, kind of bring him back and see, how his life was after Halloween H2O. But obviously, we did not get that. No, no problem, Bob. Thank you for coming back and joining the stream. But once again, let's get back to, obviously, to Halloween Ends. Um, like I said, they had the CinemaCon event and stuff, and everybody's talking about the kitchen scene with Laurie and Michael. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I had multiple ideas as to how this movie could possibly end. I did a video as Hawkins could possibly be the one to kill Michael Myers, given his, backstory and history with obviously not allowing Dr. Loomis to finish Michael off in that flashback scene in Halloween Kills of 1978. As well as they just it just with the whole cave dweller and the radio tower, like these two things have really been like crawling in my head. Like, I don't want them to give an explanation as to why Michael Myers kills, guys. I don't need no reasoning. And as far as the cave dweller title, it's like, where has Michael been all this time? Has he really been in a cave? Like, I hope there's a more mental meaning behind that than actually Michael Myers being in a cave. I hope there's more of a mental, like, there's some type of psychological meaning to that title. But with that being said, I had so many ideas as to how this could possibly end. What will be the final scene? And then when we get this, teaser trailer information about Laurie and Michael's scene in the teaser trailer in this kitchen scene, I started thinking, I'm like, wait a minute. This obviously would have to be towards the final act of the movie. There's no way they're going to have a fight scene in the middle of the movie. I just don't think that would make any sense whatsoever. So let's think, what if this kitchen fight scene is in the Myers house? For the simple fact is in Halloween 2018, you seen when she lit the whole house on fire, the model of the house started to burn. Ghostface and Fanatic, how are you doing tonight? What's going on? Thank you for joining. But you started to see, you obviously, when she burnt the house down in 2018, the model of the Myers house proceeded to burn with it. And then it really got me thinking, like, we all think that the mask is what really makes Michael tick. That is his well-being. That is his most prized possession. And then I started to think, you guys, what if that's not his most prized possession? And the reason why I say this is because really think about this. Michael Myers has killed without his mask. He has not needed his mask to kill. We've seen it in Halloween 2018 when, he escaped, when he escaped and he killed the kid and the dad. He didn't have his mask then. He killed without his mask. He was still the same old Michael Myers. But his house, in my opinion, now is the number one most sacred thing to him. What Lonnie said in Halloween Kills, in my opinion, backs this up. What does he do? He kills and he goes home. Simple. If you burn the house down, where does Michael have left to go to? You're taking his most prized possession away. Because what does he do? He kills and he goes home. He doesn't kill and then ditch the mask anywhere. He kills and he goes back home. I started to think, wow, because they also said that a lot of especially the ending scene will kind of make you think of Halloween 2018. And I seen a fan on Twitter sit there and say, oh yeah, this scene sounds like the kitchen scene in 2018. And that's what led me to believe, what if they are kind of reimagining the kitchen scene to a degree, but this time they're reshooting the kitchen fight scene between Michael and Laurie, this time in Michael Myers' kitchen. So in Halloween 2018, you had the battle in Laurie's house. Now you have this battle in Michael's house. And it kind of comes full circle. And let's just go with the premise that Laurie survives. What makes more sense than her burning down Michael's house? Or even if she doesn't survive, Allison could be the one to burn down Michael's house. I think that that kitchen fight scene is going to be so pivotal to what we get in the actual ending. I don't think that that kitchen fight scene is obviously the actual ending. It's not. But I do think it's a really big important piece as to what we're going to see in the ending of Halloween Ends. That them dropping that teaser trailer and people talking about it and dropping that information kind of changed the course of how I feel Halloween Ends will end. And I'm not going to lie. Am I still nervous about this movie? Absolutely, especially with that damn radio tower. But hearing this information kind of took some of the pressure off. Some of the pressure off. Some of it. Just a little tiny bit. I'm really optimistic about that kitchen fight scene. I think that it would it would be really cool to have that in Michael Myers' house. And not only just having it in Michael Myers' house, it wouldn't make sense if you would burn that house down for the simple fact is, like I said, in the model of his house in 2018, when Laurie's house starts to get burned down, it burns with it. And I think just from a storyline perspective, that could really come full circle and kind of play in really well as an ending. And I'm hoping that they kind of do go in that direction or somewhere like it. I really think that we could possibly see Michael Myers' house get burned down. Now, whether or not obviously Michael will die if he's obviously in the house and it's burning, I'm leaning more towards the fact that they will make it look like Michael is dead. But then obviously when they want to do another Michael Myers movie and maybe pick up following Allison or whatever they decide to do, then obviously he will obviously come back and they will have to explain, obviously will really not explain much. What it would really hit home with is that he's a supernatural force. You burned his house down. You try to take his mask from him. You did everything you could. You shot him, stabbed him, whatever. If you burn Michael Myers' house down and he's in it and you don't completely kill off that character and you bring him back in future Halloween movies, that further cements the fact, if it didn't already in Halloween Kills, it further cements the fact that Michael Myers is a supernatural force. He's not no human aspects. If that is done, that's all out the window. All out the window. If you burn Michael Myers' house down with him in it and you depict that he's dead, but they come back and make more Halloween Michael Myers movies eventually, then that just, in my opinion, adds to the fact that this character is supernatural. There's no human element to him at all. And I wouldn't be against that at all. In all honesty, I want that. I want that so much. I want them to shove it down our throats that no, he is not human. He is not like us. There's no explanation for what he is. He is who he is. He's a supernatural force of nature. Simple. I would be very on board with that. I think that would be really cool if they did it that way. Is that what we're going to get? Remains to be seen. We got a few months to find out, but that kitchen fight scene has really got me optimistic now as to what we could see in Halloween Ends as far as the ending goes. Now, I also want to get into some talk about Allison and Hawkins' character and Lindsay's characters as well. I want to read some of these comments. Ghostface Fanatic. Hello, I think Laurie. Ghostface Fanatic. I think Laurie dies and Halloween Ends. Hey, I'm not. I honestly, I'm on board with that. I think that's a very high possibility, but I do think there's also a really good chance that they might try to keep her alive. I have this weird feeling that they're not going to kill Laurie Strode's character, and when she does die, is when they make more Halloween movies and it's off screen, like we don't see it. I got a weird feeling they're gonna do that. I just I don't know. There's a high percentage of me that believes she will die in this movie because she said this is gonna be her last one. But this is the movies, man, and with iconic characters like that, some directors and studios they don't like to piss the fandom off. So that's going to be interesting, but it is a high probability that she's going to die in this movie. Ghostface Fanatic also says, I don't think Michael Myers will get killed because he's the franchise. You got to keep the movies going. I agree with that, man. Just from a money perspective, I don't think they will ever do it. And plus, we also know that's what Mustafa Akkad did not want. He always said the Michael Myers character cannot die. I just think that if you are going to do something different and something shocking, that would be the way to go. Because who would really think that Michael Myers, the character, would ever die? We would never think that because we all have this idea that he's a supernatural force that cannot be killed. But if they would somehow find a way to do it, I guess without hurting that, I guess cloak of invincibility. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm kind of nervous about that a little bit. I think there's a bigger possibility than we might think that they could try to pull some shit like that off. You know, but we will see. The buried gamer. Yeah, he survived too many attacks that not even humans will survive. And yes, I agree. You know, it's just like I said, it also boils down to I know they want to make more Michael Myers movies. I know that. But I'm also hip to the fact that what if they try to do something completely shocking, something we would never see coming? And that would be Michael Myers getting killed off. Will it happen? Probably not. You know what I mean? Most likely not. Like you guys say, you got to keep the franchise going. I mean, I would like to see them if they are going to take a break from Michael Myers, remake Season of the Witch. I think that would be something cool to see, especially in this modern era. Um, or a couple more anthology Halloweens before getting back to Michael Myers. I mean, I would be okay with that. I would like to kind of see the franchise get freshened up a little bit outside of Michael Myers. I think there's some opportunity there for that. But obviously, Michael Myers, the character, is the bread and butter of the franchise. So and he's my favorite horror villain of all time. You know what I mean? So I would hate to see that. But at the same time, I guess I'm just not, I'm also open to fresh new ideas. We always sit there and say these directors in these studios always want to just take the title and just make a remake, whatever what was already done and not create nothing of their own out of it. So I guess that's just where I'm going from it. I would like to see them take the direction of creating their own, out of it. And if they decide to kill Michael Myers, it would be something truly shocking that I would not think would happen. It would, kind of it would be something to talk about for sure. I'll say that. Something to talk about. But all right, let's get into Allison's character. Oh man, like I said, guys, with that whole news about the kitchen fight scene with Lori, that kind of, I'll be honest, that kind of took some stink off of it with Allison for me. I was really hoping that Allison would be the one to step up and probably have this big fight scene with Michael Myers and be the one to finish him off, if you will. I now think that with this news that with that kitchen fight scene between Laura and Michael, I kind of now think that I don't know if forgets Allison as we would like in terms of having that showdown with Michael Myers. Like I kind of feel like they kind of with revealing this whole kitchen fight scene, I kind of feel like now our hopes of Allison going straight commando and being how Lori was in Halloween 2018, because that's what I really would like for this character. I would really like for this character. You see the trauma, you see the hate, you see the anguish, the pain, you see the the willingness to want to get out there and fight this entity. I really, really wanted to see this character take that development. And now with this whole news that, Laurie and Michael in the kitchen fighting, I don't know if we're going to get Allison showing down with Michael too much. I will say this, though. I do still think there's ways that you could implement that trauma without her, I guess, having to have that big interaction with Michael and still make this character credible. I kind of wanted to see this character kind of take on the role of how Rob Zombie's Laurie Strode was in Halloween 2. Granted, guys, I know Rob Zombie's movies were not the greatest, especially Halloween 2. That was a shit show. I get that. But I'm talking about him from a perspective of Laurie Strode's character in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. You've seen the trauma. You've seen how batshit crazy she was. And I really, really wanted to see that for Allison in this upcoming movie. You've seen that in Halloween 2018 with Laurie. She was batshit crazy out of her mind. She would stop at nothing until she got to meet the shape face to face. And that's what I wanted for Allison in Halloween Ends. And I just don't know now with this whole Laurie Kitchen fight scene if we're really going to get that. Now, once again, guys, do I believe that Laurie scene in the kitchen with Michael is the ending? No, I do not believe that. So, does it possibly leave the door open for Allison to come in and still be the one to vanquish Michael in the end? Yeah, absolutely. Not discrediting that at all. But I do think that the fact that we're getting this Laurie and Michael fight scene in the kitchen, I do think it takes some stink off of possibly seeing Allison and Michael go toe to toe. And I do think that we are going to get just this whole big showdown between Laurie and Michael. It might go throughout the whole house. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I do think that a lot of us who are hoping that Allison would take that next step and have that showdown with Michael Myers at one-on-one, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to kind of get that. I really don't. I don't know if we're going to get that interaction as much as we maybe have thought. Like I said, is there a possibility that she comes in the ending scene and is the one to take him on and finish him off? Absolutely. But I was really hoping that this character would get the scene that we hear Laurie's getting in the kitchen, the big fight, the big showdown, because it makes sense. Michael killed her mother. Michael killed her father, killed her boyfriend. Everything her grandmother said about Michael was true, and she found this out firsthand. So to see that trauma and to see this character want to go after Michael and put an end to all this herself, I was really looking forward to that. And I just don't know if we're going to get that to the level that we might have thought we were going to get it. There's still possibility that we could. I'm hoping that, but Laurie and Michael fight scene in the kitchen, I do think it does take some stink off of it. But I hope that they still give us a really good character arc for Allison. I think we really need that for this story, for this movie to work. I really, really do. Work. New bread and butter. Sorry about that. For some reason, it lagged out for a second. But once again, as I was saying, Allison has to be the new bread and butter. Because we expect Allison to take over for Laurie. We expect if you're going to make more Halloween movies, we kind of do expect Allison to be the one that Michael is going after in these later movies. Now, do I have my reservations about that? Yes, I do. Because I kind of feel like, okay, it's kind of expected. Like, do you want to see Michael chase Allison for another 3 movies? I don't know if you really want that. But it kind of looks like, I'm not saying that, eventually once we get Halloween Ends, they're going to do a whole nother Halloween trilogy following Allison, following Allison's character. We might just get a one-off and then that's it. But I do think that if you're going to do another Michael Myers movie after Halloween Ends, if Allison is alive, you would almost have to bring that character back. I mean, unless you decide to go in a whole entirely new direction and maybe make a prequel, I don't know. But I don't know, guys. I hope that maybe I'm wrong, and I hope that we do really get more interaction between Michael and Allison in this movie. But I do think that Lori is kind of going to take that shine off, especially in that kitchen scene. But hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we get that big showdown between Allison and Michael, because man, like I said, he killed her boyfriend, he killed her mother, he killed her father. Like, I'm sorry, motherfucker did that to me. I'm gonna want to go out fucking guns blazing, knives swinging, whatever, fists flying, whatever. Even if I know I'm gonna die, I'm gonna want to act, especially if I know this motherfucker is back around and trying to kill more people and probably coming after us again anyway. So I really do hope with this character we get that big showdown with Michael. But more importantly, I really would like to see the trauma. I want to see her be like Lori was in Halloween 2018. But in all honesty, I kind of want to see her be like how the Laurie Strode character was in Rob Zombie's Halloween. I want her batshit crazy. I want her nuts. I'm not gonna lie. Give me the wild hair. Give me the grunge look. Give me it all for Allison. That's what I want for this character. All right, so let's take a look at some of these comments. Barry Gamer, yeah. Ghostface Fanatic, I think Allison is the next Laurie Strode, in my opinion. I agree with you. I do think that that's the direction that most likely they're going to go with if this character lives. Now, I'm going to read this next comment by Bob Hunt, and then I'm going to ask you guys a question about what you think about Allison possibly dying. But Bob Hunt, I think we will get a great Allison arc. They had set it up perfectly, in my honest opinion. I agree with you. I agree with you, Bob. I think they did set it up perfectly as well, especially with, killing off everybody around her that she loved. And nobody's talking about this. Think about this. You know what I mean? Think about it from this perspective. She's already the new Lori. Her boyfriend, mom, and dad got killed, right? The three closest people to her. In Halloween 1978, Lori's best friends were the three closest to her. Now, I don't know how much Bob, was really close with Lori, but those were her friends. So, in so many ways, she's already the new Lori. I don't think a lot of people brought that up, at least in terms of like the homage of the kill count. 3 people in Allison's life was killed by Michael Myers in Halloween 2018 in Kills. And in Halloween 78, Michael killed 3 of the closest people to Lori. So it already makes sense. They did honestly set that up really, really well for her character, in my opinion. I agree with you on that. They set that character up really well. And if they don't do her character justice in Halloween Ends, I'm going to be very, very upset, because that character, I'd really want to see a really, really good story arc. But like I was saying before I read Bob's comment, I want to know what you guys think about Allison possibly dying. Do you think that she could possibly get killed off? I think it's something that's worth talking about. I have this thing that even with this whole Lori kitchen scene, and I have a whole new idea of how the ending will shape out, I also think that I also have this idea. What if Michael kills everybody? What if he kills Lori, Hawkins, Lindsay, and Allison? That would be insane. That's an ending I don't think a lot of us would expect. For everybody to get killed off, I don't think a lot of us would expect that. And hence, Halloween Ends. Now, granted, they're going to make more Halloween movies. But if you wanted to kill the whole Strode legacy off, that would make sense. If you killed everybody tied to Lori, the granddaughter, the boyfriend, well, now the fiance, because I'm all but certain her and Hawkins are engaged by seeing that ring on her finger and seeing how nice she looks in those pictures. She looks all civilized now. But I don't know, guys. I think that's another thing that we should possibly, look into is that everybody could possibly get killed. I mean, Halloween ends. Halloween ends for a reason. If you're not going to kill Michael Myers off, what better way to shock the audience by killing everybody? Everybody. Everybody. Allison, Lori, Hawkins, everybody. Everybody got to go. I think that would be a real shocking ending, and I'm not going to be mad at it if it happens. I'll say that. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that ending of Michael just killing off everybody? The entire Strode legacy is killed off. Her friends, her family, everybody. Let me know what you guys think about that. Bob Hunt, that would be an amazing ending. It makes a lot of sense. It calls ends how we truly know. Hold on, that would be an amazing ending. It makes a lot of sense. It's called ends how we truly know who it ends for. And I agree with that, Bob. How do we really know who it ends for? You know what I mean? I agree with that. Like, that's, I think, why this is so exciting, even though I am nervous about this movie, a few things in this movie. That's why I am still very excited because we really don't know in terms of an ending what direction they could go. We really don't. And we can sit here and come up with so many theories and so many ideas. That's the beauty of it. We really don't know what the fuck they're going to do with this ending. We really don't. And I think that makes it all the better. Keep me speculating. I like that. It creates more content as well. So I'm definitely on board with that. Ghostface Fanatic. That's why it's called Halloween Ends. I mean, I don't disagree with that. We could very much well see everybody in the Strode legacy, from friends to family, just get killed off and mollywopped in this movie. It would be shocking. It would be really shocking if they went that direction. But would it be fucking amazing? Yeah, I would be on board for that. I would really be on board for that. That's an ending I would probably stand up and applaud in the theater for that one. I don't care if I would be the only one applauding too. People can look at me like I'm crazy all they want. I wouldn't care. All right. So now let's get on character of Hawkins. It's another character that, you know, this whole news kind of took some stink off for me too. I will say this about Hawkins. I think he's going to be one of the first to try to go at Michael. And I think he's going to get killed first out of all of them. Out of Lori, Allison, and Lindsay, I think Hawkins has the potential to go first. I kind of see Hawkins as this guy. All right. If you watch the Saw movies, right? Excuse me. I remember Saw 4, Detective Riggs. He was obsessed with helping people and trying to right his wrongs in terms of getting the bad guy. I kind of see Hawkins' character kind of playing into that role a little bit. I can kind of see Hawkins, especially if he knows Michael is back and the murders are happening again. I can see Hawkins really trying to take the initiative to be like, no, I'm going to be the one to kill Michael. I need to be the one to end this. If it wasn't for me, Dr. Loomis possibly could have ended this in 1978. Possibly. If I would have just let him shoot Michael in the head like he was going to. I need to be the one to get rid of Michael because he has lived with me just as much as he's lived with Lori all this time. I think a lot of people are undermining that part of Hawkins. He has had to live with this trauma of letting Michael Myers go, especially after, Michael killed his partner. or well, after basically essentially he helped kill his partner, whatever you want to call it. But Hawkins has been dealing with this trauma for 40 years, just like over 40 years, just like Lori. So, and you've seen it in Halloween 2018 before obviously Sartain intervened. He wanted to blow Michael's head off right there. And then obviously, if we don't get Sartain to intervene, kind of a callback to, when Hawkins intervened with Dr. Loomis, you know what I mean? Who's to say, what happens? I mean, obviously, we don't believe Michael Myers would have died from that, but still, this character he needs to quench that thirst of revenge and to right that wrong. He needs to quench that thirst. I can really see this character being somewhat of that Detective Riggs type character from Saw 4. He's going to be so obsessed with killing Michael when he finds out that Michael is back that he's going to go after Michael and he's going to go get himself killed. And I honestly think he's going to be the first one to go. I honestly think that just based on that, he's going to have so much, just like Lori, he's going to have so much pent up rage and so much pent up anger over letting Michael go in 1978. And obviously this whole thing happening in Halloween 2018, that I think he's going to get overzealous and attempt to try to kill Michael, and it's going to backfire on him. And I think he has the potential to be the first one to go out of all of them based on that fact. I don't see Lindsay so much trying to really go after Michael. I think it's going to be more or less Michael's going to come after her. You know what I mean? If anything. But as for Hawkins, I would like to see that with his character. I want to see him kind of be batshit crazy too, but at the same time, it's kind of got to be bittersweet. In so many ways, Hawkins kind of reminds me of like a light Dewey Riley, because you just want this character to live. I don't know, guys. Do you guys get the same feeling that I get with Hawkins' character? That he's like a light version of Dewey Riley? Like, you just like this character so much, and you see that he cares and that he wants to help, and he wants to help people, even though he's a terrible shot. He can't shoot to save his life. You know what I mean? You just want to see this character live, but at the same time, you just know that with all the backstory, with all the shit that he went through and is going through in his mind as it comes to Michael Myers, you just got to know that he's probably going to put himself in harm's way, and this time Michael's going to do him in. But that's what I think about it. Let me know what you guys think about Hawkins' character and how you see his character, arc playing out. See some of these comments. Ghostface Fanatic. Michael Myers could kill everyone. That's a great point. I never thought of that. I mean, yes, it's very, very possible. I would really, really be on board with that. That's something I think that would be pretty cool and unexpected. Ghostface Fanatic, I hope Michael doesn't climb up that radio tower and toss off of it, because it would be unrealistic, but wouldn't surprise me if they did that. Yeah, see, Ghostface Fanatic, I have that same reservation about the radio tower too. I have a feeling they're going to try to do something like that. Kind of like the reason why I feel like they're going to do that is they kind of want to mimic how Laurie fell to her death in Halloween Resurrection. And I really hope they don't, because that would really make me mad. It would really make me want to Hulk smash. But I just I can see them doing that too. And unfortunately, I have my reservations about that radio tower, and that's definitely one of them, is that they're going to climb up this fucking radio tower and they're just going to have an all-out swinging brawl until Michael just tosses her over, and it's just like, oh, with the slow music, and it's going to go all slow, and how they did in Halloween Resurrection with the slow fall and all that. Like, oh, let's hope not, though. Let's hope not. Let's hope for a far better ending. Let's hope that this ending exceeds all of our expectations. Say Ghostface fanatic because Michael doesn't climb, he walks in unrealistic. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. You can't say he doesn't climb because I mean, even though Halloween H2O and all the other movies really isn't supposed to count in this timeline, etc. You have to take into account that Michael did kind of like climb up, in terms to hide, like climb up on bars and would bring himself down. So it's not that much. Oh, and also Halloween 4, he climbed up on a roof. So we can't sit there and say Michael doesn't climb. Michael can do just about anything Michael wants to do. You know what I mean? I do see though, in terms of the unrealistic aspect of it, in terms of why would you need the radio tower to be why would you need the radio tower to be the ending, in terms of if you're going to kill Lori, why does that have to be the fault to her death? Why does that have to be her death? Like, it's unrealistic because who's going to want to walk all or climb all the way up there just to throw somebody off? So, that in that degree, in that notion, yeah, I can see why it's unrealistic, because I'm sorry, I just don't see, when Michael can get her at ground level, I don't see why the hell he or Lori would want to climb all the way up that radio tower, especially Lori, knowing that she could possibly get thrown off or fall off. I I hope that they don't do that. That is very unrealistic. I agree. Bob Hunt, yes, he gave me Dewey vibes as well. I think his arc may be dying while saving Allison at the middle of the film. See, right there. See, I can go with that. I think he's going to be one of the first ones out of the main core characters that's coming back to die. I can go with that. I can get down with that. I think that's really good, a really good observation. I do think that maybe somewhere in the middle of the movie, Hawkins could get killed while saving Allison, while trying to save Lori, hell, while trying to save Lindsay. Um, you know, anything's possible. But I definitely agree with that he will probably die in the middle of the movie. Craven, something scary. What's up, my man? What's going on, buddy? How you doing tonight, man? Thank you for stopping in the stream. I greatly appreciate the support, my man. But yeah, like, I really think that, like I said, Hawkins' character really gave me Dewey vibes. And I do think he's gonna die in this movie, but it I would really like if he would live, but I don't see it happening. It's gonna kind of give me how we all feel about Dewey when Hawkins does die. It's gonna just be like, oh no, you know what I mean? Why? Why did you do that? You know what I mean? But I do think that Hawkins will die at some point in the middle of the movie, like Bob said, and I do think he will be the first one to go out of Lindsay, Lori, and Allison. Out of the core main characters, I do think that Hawkins will be the first one to get killed. Now, before we get into Lindsay's character, I want to talk about, what do you guys think about possibly more stalking scenes from Michael in this movie? I have a feeling that we are going to get a lot more stalking scenes of Michael stalking them in this movie, as opposed to what we got in Halloween Kills and obviously Halloween 2018. I think that that's something that has been incredibly missing in this franchise since it, got restarted in 2018. One of my biggest faux pas with Michael Myers, this new Michael Myers, James Jude Courtney, and I love this. I love James Jude Courtney. Does a phenomenal job. But one thing that I don't like that they didn't incorporate with Michael Myers' character in Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, not enough stalking. I really hope that in Halloween Ends, we get a lot of Michael stalking them, being in the shadows, watching them, watching their every move. I really hope we get that, because, in all honesty, guys, in 1978, I don't know about you guys, but when I watched Halloween growing up as a kid, that's what scared the shit out of me the most about Michael Myers. Wasn't the fact that he was obviously this blank figure and he had a knife and etc. It was the fact that he would just stare and watch and just stalk his prey so subtly, so smoothly. That's what would scare the hell out of me when I was a kid. Like, so I really would hope that they bring that back. I think that they do and they will. For the simple fact is, I do think we're going to get a lot more storytelling in Halloween Ends. They did say the kills will not be as ramped up as Halloween Kills. So I do think that leaves a lot more room for storytelling. I think that leaves a lot more room for storytelling. And I really hope they allow him to stalk more. I want him to be more patient. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the brutality and I love the aggressiveness of, how they have James Jude Courtney portraying this Michael Myers character. But I'm also aficionado of the old school Michael. I love the stalker. I love the guy who wears the white mask and stalks the babysitters. You know what I mean? Like, just that level of creepiness, I would want that back in Halloween Ends. And I think that we could get it back. I hope they do. I hope it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, he's just going to stalk Lindsay and then that's the only stalking scene we get. I want all of them to get stalked in this movie. What do you guys think? Hit the comment section and let me know what you guys think about that. Do you guys think that we will get more of Michael Myers stalking in this movie? I think we could, and I think it would do this character. I think it would bring this character full circle. You know what I mean? We've seen the brutality of Michael Myers. We've seen the supernatural aspects. But to me, what is missing out of this new Michael Myers character in Halloween and Halloween Kills in Halloween 2018 is the creepy stalkerish, the stalker in him. When he does that to me, that just takes his psycho to a whole new level. So I really hope that we get that in Halloween Ends. And I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that we will get more of Michael Myers stalking Laurie, Allison, Hawkins, Lindsay, and whoever else in this movie? I think they should really bring that back for this character. I really do. If they bring that back, I would be so hype in the movie theaters. Like, that's what I want. Like I said, I want the Michael. Like I said, sorry about that for a second. But if you bring that level of creepiness back to Michael Myers in this Halloween Ends, everything, in my opinion, just comes full circle. You just got to do it. You got to do it. Ghostface Fanatic. That's why I loved Michael Myers a little more than Jason, because he stalks. Don't know when he's coming. And he's coming. Thank you. Exactly. That right there. That was just such a key element for me growing up for this character as to what scared the hell out of me was him stalking and watching his victims before he even made a move to kill them or anything. Craving something scary. Love your videos, bro. Keep them coming. Have a great night. Have to run, sadly, but wanted to show my support. Hey, Craven. Hey, buddy. I understand. I know you're a busy cat, man. But hey, got love for you, man, and greatly appreciate your support, man. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you again, man. Bob Hunt, I really hope they do that. Was the best part of Michael lurking in the shadows. I agree. I full-heartedly agree with that. That was the best version of Michael Myers, is when, like Ghostface Fanatic said, you didn't know where he was coming, and it wasn't like he was just so smooth and so subtle with it. That the movements was just so creepy and eerie. You got to bring that back. Got to. The Barry Gamer saying, I love these videos. Glad to hear after people's opinion about horror. Yes, I love doing this, guys. Honestly, like, and I just want, like I said, I did a video about it before. Like, when I started watching Craven Something Scary's videos, like, I'll be honest, I wanted to start my own horror channel for a while. I'll be honest, I was kind of scared that it was like, nobody's going to really want to watch it or resonate it, because I didn't really see much out there in terms of people wanting to really discuss and theorize about horror movies and storylines and stuff like that. And then when I start watching Craven Something Scary, he showed me like, no, there's definitely a community for this. We definitely have a platform for this. And I wanted to get in on the piece of the action, so that I definitely love doing these videos, and I appreciate you guys and all your kind words and all your kind comments. I do this because I love talking to you guys about this type of stuff. I mean, honestly, I'll be honest, I didn't think there were so many people out there like me that really like to deep dive into horror movies and cinema and just theories and conspiracies and stuff like that. I didn't think that there was that big of a community out there for that. And you guys definitely showed me different. And I am so glad that I found this community. And I'm so glad that I'm part of this community now. And I'm so glad that you guys are welcoming me with open arms and are showing me your support. I honestly, words really can't express how much that means to me. Honestly, I'm trying my best to build this channel. I really want this channel to be special. I want to eventually be able to, make this my full-time job in terms of focusing on what to do with this channel and creating content as much as possible for this channel. I get that it is a slow build, but guess what? We'll grow this together. I have no doubt about that. And again, thank you all for your support. You guys, honestly, words cannot describe how much it means. Right? Let's get back into this conversation, you guys. Now let's talk about Lindsay's character. Um, I do think that this character is going to have a lot more meat on the bone in this Halloween Ends. I kind of hope so. I did not like the way, I didn't like the way her character, how can I say this? Excuse me. It didn't make sense to me how after Michael attacked everybody and killed everybody else, Marion, the nurse and the doctor, it didn't make sense to me. Obviously, Lindsay was hiding, but then when they found her, she looked like Michael got a hold of her somehow. She looked roughed up, and I just didn't like how that was the way that they ended that character in terms of Halloween Kills. And you see her going into the hospital. I don't know. I feel like her character was really rushed in that movie. And I'm hoping that in Halloween Ends, we do get a little bit more backstory on Lindsay's character. Where has she been in Haddonfield this whole time? Did she leave Haddonfield at some point? Did she come back after leaving? I want to know some more about Lindsay. I want to know, more about this character. And I also want to know her trauma. How did this affect her growing up? How did the trauma of 1978? How did it affect her and her way of growing up and the way she views life and how she sees the world? I really would like them. I mean, I don't think we're going to get a big, big story arc. I don't think that would make so much sense, but give us some meat on the bone for her. You know what I mean? Give us a little something. You know what I mean? Show us a little something with this character, because we definitely didn't get a lot. We did not get a lot, in Halloween Kills. Everything was kind of rushed in the legacy characters, in my opinion. That was one of the things I did not like about Kills. I felt like they kind of rushed a lot of the legacy characters, they were just there to kind of be killed off, like Tommy Doyle, like Marion and stuff. Like I kind of feel like they could have done a better job in showcasing the legacy characters. And hopefully in Halloween Ends with Lindsay, we get that. I do think that she will be the second one to go. I think that, like I said, Hawkins will go first, and I think she'll go second. But how I envision her dying, I would like how about Lindsay getting killed off in somewhat of a way that Annie was killed off in 1978? What if we see, Lindsay at her house, this and this and that, everything's going on, the murders are happening. Lori calls Lindsay to tell her, hey, Michael's back, this and this and that. And you see Lindsay on the phone, and you can see out her window that Michael's stalking her. He's looking at her through the window. Then obviously, when Lindsay goes to get in her car, Michael's already in her car and, chokes her out from behind like he did Annie. What do you guys think about that? I would really be on board with her kill scene being that nice. You guys feel about it? And what do you guys feel about her character in general? Do you guys think that we will get a little bit more backstory on her character? Do you think that they will take a sneak peek into affected her growing up, into her adult years? I want to know what you guys think about that as well. Ghostface Fanatic. So I wonder if Tommy is alive or dead. We're going to turn that right now after I'm done reading this next comment. Bob Hunt, I was the same way, but y'all in this community welcome me open arms, and I always want to support everyone. Absolutely, Bob. I'm the same way, man. I am the same exact way. I am the same way. Anybody that I come across, especially now that in the horror community that I see, Carrie Crave Cinema, Jacqueline, other YouTube creators that I've come across, that do horror movie content that I, like and stuff. Nothing wrong with, extending the olive branch and showing some love. We're all here for the same thing. We're all here, to show our love for technicalities a little bit. Here earlier. So every time it rains, guys, I'm just going to let you know this now. Don't mind the lag. Every time it rains here in PA, it gives a little problems. I could have my Ethernet cable hooked into the computer. It doesn't matter. It might lag for a second because, the bad weather. But anyway, take a sip here real quick. The Buried Gamer, I agree. I think I want to learn more of her and her story. Yeah, absolutely. I think they brought, other than it's just a nostalgia, act. You brought this character back for a reason, and you're bringing her back in Halloween Ends for a reason. I don't want you to just give me she's in a few scenes and then she gets killed off. No, give me some meat on the bone. Show me a little bit. Show me how her upbringing was a little bit. How 1978 shaped her to be the woman she is today. I want to know. I want to get that little sneak peek into Lindsay. I agree. So now we're going to get into Tommy Doyle. Is Tommy Doyle alive or dead? Before we get into it, Bob Hunt, if Allison does not die, I really would like to see more of her character. And I feel you with the bad weather was on my end. Yes, absolutely. I can't stand it. It's really a nuisance. It really is. But fortunately, Fortunately for the most part, everything is going smooth. Fortunately for the most part. It's not super crazy, and it's not even really like going crazy outside. So fortunately, everything's going okay. Might have a little, hiccups here and there, but we go through it. But Tommy Doyle, dead or alive? I think he's gone. I think Tommy's a goner, guys. Listen, I watched the extended cut. I don't know if you guys seen. In my opinion, they should have put the mob scene in the extended cut was way better than the theatrical version because you actually got to see Michael do a little bit more. That was my big thing about the mob scene in Halloween Kills in the theatrical version is I didn't like the camera work. I didn't like how when Michael started doing his thing, you didn't get to really see him doing his thing. You just seen like a slash here or a bong here or this here. I didn't like that. I wanted to see him single-handedly, one by one, dissect every single human being that was in front of him. And the extended cut we got a little bit better camera angles to where you did see him, picking them apart one by one. And then with Tommy, he obviously stabs Tommy right up right up under here, right close to the armpit. And then he takes the bat and he bashes it over Tommy's head. And there was a still shot of Tommy on the ground, obviously bleeding, and he just didn't look like he was moving at all. Like, it was kind of like the still shot with Karen. Wasn't moving. No twitching, no nothing. So I think he's a goner, guys. And in all honesty, Tommy was okay in Halloween Kills. Am I mad to see him go? No. I feel like that whole Evil Dies Tonight really, really killed it for me, you guys. Like, when he started that shit, he lost me at that point. And I was just like, it's just too much. I really wanted Paul Rudd to come back as Tommy Doyle, but obviously wasn't able to get that. He was busy doing Ghostbusters, and I get that, and stuff. But I really wanted Paul Rudd. Nothing against Anthony Michael Hall. I like Anthony Michael Hall. But I don't know. I just didn't really get on board with his portrayal as Tommy. And don't get me wrong, I like how he didn't take no shit and he was ready, go to war. I give him that, but I don't know, guys, and I think he's a goner. I don't see how he's surviving that. Oh man, if he survives that, man, we might want to start thinking of is Tommy a little supernatural, because I ain't gonna lie, Michael cracked the shit out of him with that bat. Michael fucking played batter's practice with that bat. You seen the blood splash up and everything. So I don't think that Tommy's alive. I think it would really, if he's alive, I would put it this way: if Tommy Doyle's alive, then that mob scene didn't exist. And if that mob scene didn't exist, is Karen dead? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think Tommy Doyle is alive. I think he is a goner. If they would have did a better portrayal of this character, I would be a lot more sympathetic and be like, damn, I wish Tommy would be back. But in terms of how they portrayed that character, I'm just like, cool. We got the character of Tommy Doyle back for one movie. Cool. That's nice. Now he's gone. Let's move on. That's just how I feel about it. If it was Paul Rudd and they would have portrayed that character different, then I'd feel a lot differently of it. But I do think that Tommy is dead. That extended cut scene, because I'll be honest with you, initially in the theatrical cut, I thought there was a bigger possibility of Tommy being alive than dead, because we didn't get to see where Michael landed, the bat really. In the extended cut, you can see that he landed it on the head. He did. He smashed him in the head with that bat, and he got Tommy Boy up out of here. So I don't think that we obviously will see Tommy Doyle back in Halloween Ends, and I don't think it would make much sense if he were to come back. Well, let me see what you guys think about that. Bob Hunt, as much think he is gone, and as I want Tommy back, I think it was made with Huckleberry the bat. yeah, absolutely, Bob. I think the good old Huckleberry back did him in too. Michael made sure of that, man. You see, like I said, that blood splash. That wasn't a blood splatter. That was a blood splash. Seeing all that blood splash up like that, I said, yeah, Tommy's done. Like I said, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because Tommy Doyle is a legacy character. I just really wish they would have did that character better, and I really wish they would have left the whole Evil Dies Tonight thing out of it. It really just kind of contaminated that character for me, in my opinion. Ghostface Fanatic, I think him and Karen are dead too. Yeah, definitely. Well, no, Karen is dead. It has been confirmed that she is dead. They even had Twitter. Andy Matichak did like a Twitter post saying that she's gonna miss Judy Greer on set, but that they're going to make her proud. And then Judy Greer even basically came out and confirmed it herself, and stuff like, I mean, that was more shocking to me, if anything, was Karen getting killed off. You know what I mean? I did not expect that at the end of Halloween Ends. I thought that if we were going to kill if we were going to kill the Strodes, I thought that they were going to at least wait till Halloween Ends to do it. You know what I mean? But obviously that's not the case. They obviously killed Karen off at the end of Halloween Kills, so that's what we got. I really thought that all three Strode women would last until the trilogy. And then I thought that maybe in the trilogy we would see Karen and Laurie get killed off in the same movie, thus obviously passing the torch in that way to Allison. But obviously that's not what we got. Karen got killed at the end of Halloween Kills, and yeah, it does suck because I liked Karen's character. I did. I thought that Judy Greer was pretty cool. I thought she did a good job. I especially the little subtle things to me, like how Halloween 2018, the gotcha, and the whole setup with the mob, how she did it again, gotcha, with the mob. I just thought Karen's character was, pretty cool. And it sucks to see her go. I kind of do wish she was back in this one. I do. But shouldn't have went back in that house. I don't know what the hell she was thinking anyway. I will say this, guys. I hope that they kind of give us a reimagining or a redo of Karen's death scene. Because what I want to know is how the hell did Michael get back in the house? How did he get back in the house without nobody noticing him? With cops in the back and cops in the front. I will say that. So in terms of Karen's death, I really hope that they redo that in Halloween Ends and kind of give us like a reimagining of it, kind of like they did the reimagining in 1978. I hope they do something about that because that ending scene was a little foggy to me. I didn't understand how Michael got past everybody. There's just no way he's getting past all those cops and out front or back without anybody noticing he's coming through the door. I mean, going up the stairs. There's no way. So hopefully they situate that part out in Halloween Ends. Hopefully they talk about that or do something with that. I'll be a little disappointed if they don't. I kind of feel like there would be a missed opportunity if they don't. Because I would like to think that a lot of us agree that Halloween Kills ending scene was a shit show. And just the fact that how did Michael not be seen walking up those stairs is beyond me. And I think beyond a lot of us. So granted, I know he's this whole supernatural aspect, but we see him walking everywhere else. We see him walking to and from everywhere else majority of the time. So I really hope that they kind of give us some backstory on that ending scene for Halloween Kills because that ending didn't sit right with me at all. Okay, I thought Bob Hunt, sorry, bad typing. So Bob Hunt, sorry for the bad typing. I'm still getting used to this laptop. Oh no, you're good, buddy. Hell, I do it all the time. I got these Professor Clump hands and fingers, so every time I'm typing or whatever, words come out misspelled all the time. So you're fine, buddy. No problem. Ghostface Fanatic, I thought Karen was going to stay alive, but when they killed her, I was shocked, and that was it. The credits rolled. I was wanting more. Yeah, I will say this. I think they should have went with the extended cut ending. I thought that was a far better ending where we get Michael answering the phone when Laurie's calling Karen, and Michael picks up and you hear him breathing. And Laurie, she knows Karen's dead. So she's like, I'm coming for you, Michael. And she proceeds to start, walking in the hallway to the hospital, leaving, and everybody's, walking the opposite way of her. I thought that should have been the theatrical ending. That should have been the overall ending for the movie. That was a way better ending than the one we got. But I do agree with you that it left us wanting more. It definitely left us wanting more. That ending, it was just like, it left a sour taste in my mouth. Once I watched it a few times, it was just like, not a good ending. Not a good ending at all. Not a good ending at all. All right, gang. So that's enough for Halloween Ends. Right there for this segment of Halloween Ends. We're done talking about that for now. Anyway, we were definitely gonna, obviously, as more news and more, as trailers start to come out and stuff, we'll definitely, I'll be definitely dropping some videos, and we're gonna definitely do some more theories and talk about it some more as time goes along. You know what I mean? And we got what? It's May 1st. So we got 5 months. We got 5 months and 13 days until this bad boy comes out. So we got a lot of time and a lot of news to dabble in 5 months. So we're definitely going to keep up on Halloween Ends and definitely keep up on, some news and keep up on the theories and the discussions. And, things change over the course of 5 months. Hell, we might have a whole new different outlook on how this movie's supposed to be by the time this movie comes out. So, you know what I mean? Halloween Ends. You know what I mean? It's I can't wait. I'm nervous and excited at the same time. I think this is probably the most nervous and excited I've been for a Halloween movie outside of 18. I wasn't that nervous or excited for Rob Zombie's Halloween because I kind of already knew what I was going to get. I knew that Michael was going to be super brutal, over the top, the typical over the top Rob Zombie type movie. So this movie, I'm nervous, but I'm optimistic at the same time. And we are definitely going to keep up on it. But now we're going to talk some Scream 6. Man, Scream 6. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm I don't know what the hell's going to happen with Scream 6. Like, I have a feeling this movie is really going to be centered around Gale Weathers and around these new characters. I feel like Gale in this movie is going to be more of the Cindy role. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I feel about it because what can you really do with this character? Who I have a hard time. I have a hard time with putting my finger on who would come after Gale Weathers. Like, to make her like their main focus. You know what I mean? Who would make Gale Weathers their main focus outside of Stumacher? Outside of Stumacher. Let's get that out the way. Outside of Stumacher, I can't think of anybody else. I mean, you could sit there and say a crazy fan of hers, whatever. I just don't know if I'm okay with her being the main target of Ghostface. I hope she's more of this, excuse me, Dewey type character. I've made a video about it before. I think this new Scream trilogy is an anthology series for the OG3. Scream 5 was centered around Dewey. We got, obviously his backstory as to what happened to him and Gale. What has he been up to since, he left Gale. We obviously got the backstory that he was a drunken mess. He wasn't in the right state of mind. We got all that. Scream 6, I do believe, will be Gale Weathers' version of the anthology. And then I think Scream 7 will get back to more Cindy Prescott. But guys, I just don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel about Gale, like, being on this one by her own, on her own. Like, I've seen some ideas out there, like maybe, Ghostface can call into a radio show. I'm not against that. I think that would be a really cool scene that, she's about to start her show and her first call of the day is from Ghostface. That would be lit. I would love that. But I don't know if I want Gale to be like the main target. I want to see her more as this Dewey Riley character, and then she gets killed off. I do believe she's going to get killed off in Scream 6. I believe this anthology series is more, like I said, more of an anthology for the OG3, but only 2 of the OG3 will be killed off because you can't kill Cindy, and even she said that. You can't kill the character. But you've seen it with Dewey. You can kill him, and you can kill Gale. So I do think that Gale will die in this movie. I just think it's going to be very interesting to see why and what's the reasoning as to why she's such a focal point in this movie. I guess that's where I'm at with that in terms of Gale Weathers' character. Now, what I really hope for is that we get a lot more Sam. I want a lot more Sam backstory. I want all of it. I want to know where she went those 5 years. I want to know what she did in those 5 years. I want to know what happened between ages 18 and 23. I want to see more. I want to see more of the dialogue in the diaries. I think there's a lot more in those diaries that's being told. I don't think the full story is being told. I think there's a lot more to it. I want to know everything about Sam. Everything. Now, we did get some news the other day. Obviously, we got some posters or a poster, and we got a couple new cast members. And I am going to do a video about that. Probably drop that video tomorrow. Actually, I'll do a video about that tomorrow about the new cast members for Scream 6, etc. But I want to touch on the girl who got casted for Scream 6. That girl reminds me in so many ways of Melissa Barrera. And when I do the video tomorrow, I'll give you deep details as to why I believe such. But I think that this new cast member that we have for Scream 6, I think the girl who's playing this role is going to be portraying a young Samantha Carpenter. I will say that. So tomorrow I will definitely have more in depth on the new cast members for Scream 6 and give you guys my thoughts on those cast members, etc. But I will say that much, that I think that the new female character in Scream 6 that has been cast, I do think that she's going to be portraying a younger Samantha Carpenter in this movie. But like I said, guys, I want everything Sam. I want to dig into her backstory. I want to know where she was the 5 years, what she did. If you've watched my videos, guys, you know that I am heavily invested on Samantha Carpenter being a mastermind with Stu Macher in this new Scream trilogy. You guys, if you watch my videos, then you know that. So I would really like to see. I don't think if that is true, we will get a reveal to Scream 7, which would make sense. But I want some more little nuggets and I want some more clues sprinkled in there for Scream 6. I definitely want to see that in terms of Sam's character. Now, Tara. Let's move on to Tara. Tara is the final girl of this new trilogy. That has been established. If you listen to the dialogue, if you just watch how Scream 5 played out, Tara's the final girl. Sam isn't. So as far for Tara, I want to see the same thing. I want to see the same type of performance out of Jenna Ortega. I don't want anything tainted with Tara's character. She's great. She did a great job. Jenna Ortega's great. I don't need nothing to change about her character. She's great at the emotion part. She's great at being pissed off. She's just overall a great actress, and that character is good. I don't think there's any obviously, do you want to see some maturity out of that character? Absolutely. Definitely want to see some maturity out of that character. But as far as Tara Carpenter's character goes, I don't see too much that needs to be tainted with, other than the fact I do want to see her and her father. I do think that Tara's father is going to come back in Scream 6. I want to see that dialogue. I want to see how she feels about her father leaving her. I want to get that dialogue. I will say that. But as far as Tara's character, establishing that she's the final girl. Because like I said, I truly believe that Samantha, she's not the final girl. And I think she's being portrayed. I said it in a previous video. Much like Billy Loomis was shoved down our throats as the killer, Scream 1996 and it was found out that he was, I think that radio silence is shoving it down our throats that Sam is the final girl, all for her to be revealed as part of the mastermind, as a mastermind, and behind this whole new Scream trilogy all along. You know, so as far as Tara's character goes, just keep doing what you did with her in Scream 5, but build on that character. That's all you have to. That's all they have to do. Don't change nothing of that character. That character was great. Just build on it. That's all we have to do in terms of Tara. All right, let's look at some of these comments. Ghostface Fanatic, I felt like Halloween Kills was too short. I was wanting Michael to go to the hospital. Ghostface Fanatic, I mean, let's take a pivot back to that. I agree with that. Honestly, I kind of wanted to see Michael go to the hospital as well. You know what I mean? Unfortunately we did not get that. I do think that it was a good thing they didn't go that direction because then it would have been too much like Halloween 2. But I did want to see Michael go to the hospital, and I will agree with you that that movie was too short. Everything happened too fast. But that's when it happens when there's no real story arc. I tell people this all the time when they ask me about Halloween Kills. When they ask me my opinion on the movie, that movie was made to show us that Michael Myers, there's no motive for why he kills. He just kills. Simple and plain. That's why that movie was made. That movie was simply made to drive home the fact that Michael Myers, there is no motive as to why Michael kills. He just does it just to do it. Simple. That's why Halloween Kills was so short, because there was no real story arc. But I do agree with you. It was a little too short. Ghostface Fanatic, we know that Gail is going to write a book. Yeah, we do know that. And I do think it's going to be really interesting to see what that book is about. Do you guys think that it will be about Dewey like she said it was? Or do you think that she'll give in into her inner top story self and be like, no, I'm going to write about these murders that just happened in Woodsboro again? I think she's going to do it. She says she did at the end of Scream. She said at the end of Scream 5, she said she's not, writing about Richie and Amber or these murders or no more. I find that very hard to believe when her bosses are going to want her to do it. They're going to throw her a lot of money. I see her writing this story about the new woods, about the requel. I can see her writing the book about the requel. I definitely can see her doing that. Not saying she's not going to do a book about Dewey. I'm leaning more towards she's going to give in and she's going to be writing about Richie and Amber or more Woodsboro murders. That's just my opinion. I do think that's what's going to happen in regards to that book. I think she's going to give in. What do you guys think? Do you think she's going to give in? Do you guys think that she's going to give in to? Because think about it. Just like in Scream 5, when Dewey's like, "Oh, you just had to, bring your cameras and stuff here." Her bosses basically wanted her to do the story. So who's to say her bosses are like, "Oh no, you have to write this book. You have to write this book so we can get publicity." Her agent, you have to write this book so you guys get the gist of what I'm saying. I honestly think she's going to be writing about Richie and Amber. Let's get to more of these comments. If Nev isn't in it, I think Kirby would maybe take her place and maybe be a mentor. I definitely think that since we got the news that Hayden Panettiere has signed with an agent, only a few weeks outside of Scream 6 filming, I do think it's a high possibility that we get Kirby Reed in this movie. I do. And I'm all for it. I love her. So fine. So fine. Gotta have Hayden back in this movie. But I love that character, Kirby Reed, altogether. Because when watching Scream 4, she was the female Randy. So she was Mindy before Mindy. And that's the truth. Definitely got to have Kirby Reed back in this movie. And I do think that she will be back in this movie. I agree with that, Ghostface. Her work. Yeah, that's what I want. I don't want this movie to be completely focused on Gale. Totally agree with that. That's how this movie centered to some degree around Gale could work. Don't give me it all around Gale, but just give me a good percentage. Give me a good 20-25%, and I'll be a happy camper. I'll be okay. If Gale dies in this film, I think they should have a funeral scene. I agree. I agree with that. I kind of hope we get a funeral scene for Dewey in Scream 6, like maybe at the beginning or like after the beginning, something. I doubt we're going to get that, but I was kind of hoping we get a funeral scene for Dewey. I was kind of hoping we get that, and we obviously didn't. I should. What about life scene for both him and Gale? I would be okay with that. Kind of like how they did with, with Wes, when Wes got killed in Scream 5 and they, did the final act scene in the party, you could do that with Gale and Dewey. I wouldn't be against that at all. I think that would be pretty cool. Yeah, they should have did that for Dewey. I mean, Christ, you're gonna. I will say this: I did not like finding out how Radio Silence just basically didn't even really talk to David about killing off that character. They just said, "Oh, yep, this is just what it is. That's it." Don't get me wrong. I get it. You have to be. They have to be different, and that's what we want from them. I'm not eating their lunch for trying to be different. What I'm eating their lunch is the lack of respect for such an iconic character. You got to talk to the man about that. If I was the director of that movie, David, let me talk to you about this. Listen, I want to kill the character of Dewey off, but how do you want to go about this, and how do you feel about this? You got to give that man that much respect for the simple fact is he has given him, him, Nev, Courtney, they've given their whole careers to this franchise. They are the franchise. So the fact that Radio Silence kind of did, David Arquette a little dirty like that, that kind of did not sit well with me. So Ghostface, in terms of them doing a funeral scene for Gale, and as far as them should have doing it for Dewey, I completely agree with you. I would like if they did a celebration of life scene for both of them, for both those characters. I think that would be really, really nice. I think that would make sense, and that would make up for the lack of respect that David Arquette got in initial conversations with them, when they start talking about killing off his character. That really did not sit well with me. I mean, with such an iconic character, you gotta give them a little bit more pull. You gotta give them a little bit more, saying, how this is gonna go down. You know what I mean? Like, look at Jamie Lee Curtis. She got stroke. You ain't running nothing past her that don't make sense. If it don't make sense to her, we ain't shooting that scene. Simple and plain. So I do, in that aspect, think that they kind of lowballed David Arquette in that regard. I will say that. They definitely did lowball him in that regard. They definitely did. But I am not opposed as to having a celebration of life / funeral scene for Gale Weathers and for Dewey Riley. I feel like Ghostface, if you're going to do a funeral scene for Gale, you have to have Dewey involved in some capacity. In my opinion, you might basically kind of want to bury them together, or maybe do like a cremation ceremony. You know what I mean? They burn the ashes together, something like that. I wouldn't be opposed to that because they definitely deserve they definitely deserve the respect and a proper sending off. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to refill on a drink. All right. Now, but yeah, that's my take on the whole, Gail thing. I just hope that I hope they do this right. Give me some of her, give me some of the storyline revolved around her, but don't give me all of it. Have enough to focus on characters like Sam's character development, like Mindy's character development, like Chad's possible character development. And I say possible because I will say this. I do think that Chad is going to get killed in Scream 6. I think that they are going to kill Mason Gooding's character in Scream 6. I really hope they don't. I love Chad's character. I thought he was incredibly funny in the right spots in Scream 5, especially the scene with Liv. We all know the scene with Liv when he passes down to Cuddy because he's like, yeah, I don't know, because you might still be the killer. You know what I mean? And stuff. So I really like Chad's character, and I hope that they don't kill him off. I just think I kind of feel like they're gonna kind of do him like they did Randy in Scream 2. I think he's gonna be kind of like how his uncle's character was, and he's gonna get killed off. And it's gonna suck, but I do see that happening. But I hope we get some type of character development before that happens. I really do. I hope he doesn't just get like 2 or 3 scenes and then it's like, oh, now it's Chad's death scene. I would like to see character. I want to see character development for each character, each one, even if it's just a nice little sprinkle. Give me something. I will say this. So let's talk about possible character returns. Hank Loomis. I think Hank Loomis could come back in this movie. I did a video about it. I think it would really make sense, and I think this is a character that they should bring back. I want to see Sam meet her granddad, and I want to see how that dialogue plays out. I really do. I would really like to see how that dialogue plays out. You know what I mean? Between Sam and Hank Loomis. Because Hank Loomis has such an incredible backstory. I want to see more of Hank Loomis. And I hope that they bring this character back. And if they do bring this character back, I hope they give him some backstory. And I hope they show some of the backstory from the original trilogy. There's so much shit with Hank Loomis. I could talk about it, and I'm not going to delve into it tonight. But Hank Loomis is definitely a wild card character. And if they bring that character back, I think there's can be so many avenues that we can go with that character. I really hope that they would bring Hank Loomis back, especially for a story from a storyline perspective. Ghostface Fanatic, they need to change stuff up. Like we need more chase scenes because that's one thing Scream 5 did not do. Chase scenes, not enough kills. I do agree with that, Ghostface. I do think more chase scenes and I do think more kills. I will say this. I think that Scream 6 will have that because think about Scream 2. What does Randy say? The sequel is always much more elaborate. More blood, more gore. Carnage, candy. Your core audience just expects it. I think that's what we're going to get in this next Scream. I think it's going to be a bloodbath. I think it's going to be. I think they're going to tiptoe along the lines of Halloween Kills in terms of the kills. Just probably dial it down a couple notches. I will say that, but I expect this movie to be somewhat as brutal as Halloween Kills was, if not to the level, to some level. I do think this movie is in Scream 6 is going to be a lot more brutal than previous Scream movies. I will say that. I think because we all know that they love to reference and mimic Halloween so much anyway. That would not surprise me as if in Scream 6 they're like kill count overload. It would not surprise me at all. And then you got to think with the whole college setting, I do think that they are going to go back to the college. I do think that they're going to be shooting a lot of scenes at the college. I do think that you know this movie will be majority majority of the movie will be based around the college. How okay. Sorry, another lag. But once again, how we can make this movie cool and set up at the college, you know what I mean? What if we have Ghostface just going around molly-whopping a whole bunch of college kids? Like, not saying that like that's the core story. No, not at all. But I'm saying in terms of like the kills, like if you want your body count to really get up there, what better setting than a college campus? You got all those kids, coming to school that's going to be in school, in their dorms, etc. That's something we really didn't get in the original Scream 2 that after, obviously growing up and being able to understand things, I was like, man, I really would have liked that if you would have had a lot more college kill scenes. Like if you would have killed off like those guys who kidnapped Derek in Scream 2, those the frat houses. And Scream 6, give me some of those. You know what I mean? Go to a couple frat houses and kill a couple of the frat houses. A whole frat house full of killings. I'd be on board with that. If you're going to up your body count, if you're going to up your blood count, you have to do something that makes sense and isn't really expected. Would we really expect him to do a whole bunch of murders on a college campus? No. We expect them we expect him to do some of the story on the campus, but we also expect some of the story to kind of trail back to Woodsboro as well. So I think if you want to get creative and up your kill count without hurting the story, adding some more of those college kid deaths would be okay. I would be okay with that. Let's slaughter some of these punks. Let's go. Let's go. Like, shoot. I want to see something like that. I think that would be really, really cool to watch. You know what I mean? Ghostface knocking on or calling somebody in a frat house. And how many people live in a frat house? Let's just say 10 people live in one frat house. And Ghostface offs all of them in one scene. That would be so lit. So lit. So lit. Let's hit some of these comments. Ghostface fanatic. They should did that for Drew. That would have made sense. I did not like the way he died because it was to Dewey in Wes Craven's movie. He went back. He would have shot him in the head when he had the chance. Maybe Gail and Dewey both get buried together and have a double funeral. They need to change stuff like. Sorry, just trying to catch up with a little bit of these comments. That's what Ghostface is about, the chase scenes and the phone calls. You're right about that, Ghostface fanatic. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. It's about chase scenes and the phone calls. Absolutely. Bob Hunt, I don't think they will. I think they are trying to make him this generation's Dewey just because he was trying to protect everyone by downloading that app. But it was a stupid idea on his part. No, I agree with that. I definitely agree. I hope Mark Kincaid comes back because we know he's in a relationship with Cindy, but that's if Nev signs on and if Patrick Dempsey is down to do that. Not in this one, maybe Scream 7. Man, I would love for my homie Patrick Dempsey to come back in the Scream franchise. I got a weird feeling that he won't, and they're going to cast somebody else to play Mark Kincaid. But I'm really hoping that they can pull Patrick Dempsey's string and be like, "Come on, man, come on board." I would really like that. I really would. I'm a fan of Patrick Dempsey. He's good, a really good actor. I definitely agree that there is going to be a college and it's in Canada. Ghostface Fanatic Radio Silence said that they're going to risk it all. Yeah, I mean, they said they're going to risk it all, which means all of our theories, any theory you have, Stu Macher being alive and a mastermind, Samantha being a mastermind, um, Tara's father being involved in the murders. Any theory you have in regards to this movie, they're willing to throw everything on the table. And I like that. I just hope that they do it the right way. Don't give us no cheesy BS that's not going to make sense. I want it done the right way. I want it done properly done, but I also want it done in their way because, like, we already got the nice little homage of Scream 5 for Wes. We already got all that stuff. Now I want to see Radio Silence take the next step and putting their own take on this new Scream franchise, on the Scream franchise, putting their stamp on it. So I'm definitely invested in seeing how this is going to play out for sure. You know what I mean? Because this is a big moment for these guys. They messed this movie up. I mean, they can't mess it up. I'm just gonna say that they can't mess this movie up. They got to do it right. They have to. They just have to. There's no other way around it. They have to do it right. Like, and just with all the nuggets of Stu Macher and then the dialogue with Sam and Cindy, like I said, guys, like I made my videos about it and I'll say it here on the stream. That dialogue between Sam and Cindy in the hospital, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that Samantha isn't Cindy's daughter. I just don't get it. I don't understand. How did Cindy know that Samantha Carpenter was Billy's daughter when Dewey made no mention of it on the phone? Gail didn't know. I don't understand that. So I just think there's so much more story to be had with that. And I really hope, like I said, in terms of Scream 6, I don't want them to, give me the whole Sam background. I want little sprinkles that's going to lead into 7. Because I genuinely believe that Sam is involved in all this shit. I mean, I think the one question nobody's asking is why, after 5 years of Samantha being gone from Woodsboro, now all of a sudden these Woodsboro murders start happening again. Just food for thought. People can say, "Oh, well, no, she was summoned back to Woodsboro because her sister was attacked." No, that plan was put together. That's all I'm going to say about that. And I hope that in Scream 6 we do get some more nuggets in terms of character development for Sam. To me, she's the one that they need to focus on. That's the one they need to focus on because of how bad that character's dialogue was in that movie and how unbelievable she was. In my opinion, Samantha's character is the one we got to focus on from a story arc standpoint. I think that her backstory is so pivotal, so pivotal. You know what I mean? To what we're going to get out of Scream 6, as well as what we can lead into with Scream 7. Sam is the main focal point, in my opinion. She has to be. She just has to be. I want to see what those diaries. You know what I mean? I want to see. I want to see what if there's more information in those diaries. I think there's so much more in those diaries that we don't know about. In all honesty, I really do, and it'd be really nice to see. You know what I mean? It'd be nice to see them touch on that more in Scream 6. That's what I want to see, especially in terms of Sam's character. I want to see the dialogue with the mom. I want to see Tara's dad come back, see how that dialogue plays out. Sam, in my opinion, her story has to be the main focal point, especially the backstory. The 5 years she was gone. That to me, I want to know what happened in those 5 years. That's all I'm going to say about Sam. Now, Stu Macher. If you watched any of my videos, then you guys know that I genuinely believe Stu Macher is alive and is a mastermind. And I do believe that he is the one who killed Dewey in the hospital scene. I do believe he's the one who killed Dewey in the hospital scene. I'm sorry. I'm just not buying the fact that Amber, they're telling us that Amber is the one who did it, yet this girl couldn't kill Dewey with both hands on the knife like this, going down with full force. She still couldn't overpower Dewey enough to stab him then. But I'm supposed to believe this girl, this little girl who's 17 years old, you know what I mean, in the movie. So she hasn't even hit physical peak yet. I'm supposed to believe with one arm, with one hand, she did all that gutting up. No, not buying it. Stu Macher did it. And like I said, the dialogue, yes, today, it's a callback to 96. I did not kill, I stabbed you in the back then, but I finished the job. Today, I finished the job. I definitely think that Stu Macher is back in the Scream franchise, but I don't think we will get him back until Scream 7, and I think that would make more sense. But I want more nuggets. I want more little clues showing such, or at least the possibility of such, of Stu Macher possibly coming back. You know what I mean? That's what I want. I don't want this thing to just spill out and, you know, there's no buildup. I'm a big sucker for anticipation. And I think if they keep doing it the way they did in Scream 5 with the stew nuggets, I think that if they do it that way and then leading to it with 7 as the reveal, that would be perfect. I don't want it to be in 6. I want it to build up some more, but keep giving me some nuggets. Could his sister Leslie Mocker come back and be in this movie? That's a very high possibility because her son Vince was killed. I do expect to see that character in this movie. So could we also get other references as to him being spoken about in a present tense and not in a past tense, like we did in Scream 5 when Dewey says he's Billy Loomis's accomplice and he's not, as opposed to he was? Very much so. I want to see those. I want to hear and see those little nuggets, but I don't want a full reveal in Scream 6. I want that to be saved for Scream 7 for the even bigger picture, which I believe would be Samantha and Sue are working together. You know, but that's my take on that. You know what I mean? I do think that Stu Macher is definitely alive. Another reason why, if you haven't watched anybody's watching out there, you haven't watched any of my videos, another reason why I believe Stu Macher is alive is if you listen to that opening scene dialogue when he's on the phone with Tara and we get to Casey Becker and he says, "Who's that dumb bitch who plays in the beginning of Stab who picks up the phone and gets carved up by the killer?" Well, why, like, if you listen to how the killer was referring to Casey Becker, that screams somebody who knows her, one, who knew her, and somebody who had a grudge against her. Well, we all knew that she left Stu Macher for Stephen Orff. Yeah, it's been 26 years, but so what? Stu obviously held a grudge. You know what I mean? That piece of dialogue when the killer's talking to Tara on the phone really, really caught my ears as to, like, wow, why is the killer speaking about Casey like that? You know what I mean? Like, why would Amber Ritchie need to speak of Casey in that type of tone or in that type of manner? You know what I mean? So, with that being said, I am definitely on board the stew train, as my buddy Craven Something Scary would like to say. And I just hope that we keep getting little nuggets and little nuances, you know what I mean? Little clues that show the possibility of Stu Macher being alive in Scream 6. All right, so let's look at some more of these comments. We're touching up on 2 hours, guys. So I'm going to go another 10 minutes or whatever. I am going to check. I did say though that I'm going to check. I'm going to check the subscriber count. So if we got any new subscribers, then I'll go a little bit longer. Ghostface Fanatic says I definitely agree. Well, no, I already read that. I hope Patrick Patrick comes back, not another actor to play him. I don't know if you remember, but Patrick Dempsey was supposed to be in Scream 6, but Scream 4, but he couldn't do it. No, honestly, I did not know about that. I really did not. I did not catch that. That would have been cool. That would have been cool too to see. It was the same, in all honesty, as for Scream 5, if I'm not mistaken. They said that they wanted him to, I guess, do a cameo, when she answered the phone, when Dewey called her, and he couldn't be in Scream 5, I guess, because he was busy or whatever. Sam is Ghostface Fanatic. Sam is gonna be a killer. She's gonna illustrations about her father, Billy, and that leads her to being a villain. Ghostface Fanatic Billy is gonna play with her head, and she becomes more psycho. Hey, Ghostface, I'm on board with that, man. I already think the groundwork's already being laid. He's already tinkering with her brain, with her mental. Honestly, like I think that another thing is why I think Sam is already a killer and why she's already involved is the Judy Hicks scene. If you go back and watch that scene or whatever, well, we know that Judy Hicks and Sam didn't have the greatest relationship. And if you listen to that dialogue, the killer is toying with Judy as if it was somebody who doesn't like Judy. Like, you know how when you don't like somebody, so you're gonna fucking nitpick with them and you're gonna say something really snarky and snooty, whatever, however you may say it. However, that's what I got from the dialogue with that scene with Judy. Like when the killer's like, deputy or Officer Judy. When she says that, or when the killer says that, that really stood out to me because I'm like, I'm not sitting there saying Amber and Richie wouldn't toy with Judy, but that just sounds like somebody who doesn't like Judy personally playing around with her and toying with her. Another thing that I caught was when Judy is being killed, the knife pause, just like the knife pause in the ending scene with Sam when Sam is killing Richie. Another thing is both those scenes when Sam is killing Richie and when the killer is killing Judy, the killer is right-handed. Samantha is right-handed. I found that very, very telling that Samantha is already, to me, in my opinion, killing. I think she killed Judy. I don't think it was Richie or Amber. I think it was Samantha who killed Judy. That's just my honest opinion. That's my honest opinion on that. I think that Sam is the one who killed Judy Hicks, and I think that knife shot, the pause in the knife. I found it funny how there was only 2 scenes in the movie where we got a knife pause, and that scene was when Judy was being killed, and then was Richie was being killed by Samantha. Just saying. The only time we got a knife pause is when Sam was on the screen. Just saying. I think that I think she's already killing. I think the plan has already been put into motion by her. And I think that everything that is happening from Scream 5, from Scream 6, from all the way to Scream 7 is all centered around Sam putting all this together with Stumacher. That's my take on that, man. That's my take. All right, so let me check this. Let me check this subscriber jump real quick. See if we got anything. We're creeping up on 2 hours on the live stream. Please like this video if you haven't already. Your support is greatly appreciated. As well as hit that notification icon so you get all the latest content updates to the channel. Once again, this is our Shot 'em 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel. This is my Halloween End/Scream 6 live chat theories, Q&A stream. You guys if you are just coming into the stream, if you got a question, hit me with your questions about either movie. I'll try my best to answer whatever question you may have to the best of my ability. All right, guys, we're going to go for another 5 minutes. or whatever. Is there any other? I'm gonna let you guys take over in the chat or whatever. Any questions you guys want to ask me? Halloween ends related, Scream 6 related, could be anything. Anything we haven't touched on, anything I haven't talked about, etc. I'm gonna let you guys take it away in the chat. Billy's gonna play because more psycho. Yep, Ghostface fanatic. I do believe that. It doesn't mean Stu alive and he comes back and he puts. I definitely think that Stu is alive and he comes back. You have to put scars on his face from the TV. Thank you. I am on board with that. I totally agree with that. You cannot bring Stu back and he doesn't have some type of scar tissue from that TV falling on his head. You have to do the scars. You have to. Ghostface fanatic. I heard that she killed her stepfather. That's something I'm going to have to look into. Did you see that on the Scream fandom, Ghostface? Because I didn't check the Scream 5 fandom Wikipedia yet. I've only checked Scream 96, 2, 3, and 4. I believe Sam killed her stepfather in that time period. Okay, yes, I did. So you saw that on Scream 5 fandom. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. But either way, do I think she did? It's possible. It's possible. But my thing is this: if she did kill her stepfather, obviously nobody knows about it because her ass would have been in jail. You know what I mean? So obviously nobody knows about this stepfather being killed. However, I want to believe that he's not dead because I want to believe that Blackmore, the working title, is his last name and that he will be making an appearance in Scream 6. I will say that. I believe the working title Blackmore is Tara's father and hence Sam's stepfather. But man, that's a juicy piece of information that you just gave me, and I am definitely going to look into that. Oh, that's a theory somebody came up with. Well, that's a hell of a theory. You know what I mean? That's not an impossible theory. For the simple fact is, obviously, we haven't seen the stepfather yet. Obviously, we know that he left. You know what I mean? But that's not impossible that within those 5 years that Sam was gone out of Woodsboro, it's not impossible that she killed him. We don't know what she did in those 5 years. Kind of like Maureen Prescott in Scream when she left Woodsboro, when she left Hollywood or whatever. Nobody knows. No, when she left Woodsboro or whatever, nobody knows what she did. She vanished up until they found her pictures in Hollywood. So it's not impossible to think that that theory is true that she killed her stepfather. I'm just going to lean towards more that that's not true. I think that he will be in Scream 6, and I think that his last name is the working title for the movie. But anything is possible. Anything is possible. Anything is possible in the Scream universe. Hey, it's even been said that there's even theories going out there is what if Amber and Richie killed Kirby? I personally don't believe that to be true, but if you think about that theory in terms of like a trial run, like what Billy and Stu did with Maureen Prescott, how that she was their first kill in terms to get them ready for the killing spree, to like kind of, school them on how to do this. It would not surprise me that if they do go in the direction that if Kirby Reed's character is already dead, that's what happened to her character, that Amber and Richie used Kirby as target practice for, basically they used Kirby as their first kill to get practice at killing. It would not surprise me. It would not surprise me if that would be the opening scene that we get. I hope that's not the case because I really, really want Kirby Reed back as a character in Scream 6 or Scream 7 or maybe both. I really want that character back and I want her to live and to have a story. But We don't know yet. We got a long way to go, and we got a lot of news that's going to end up coming out that we're going to have to pick through and sit through and theorize on. People, I got a great theory that will blow your mind. I think Ghostface Fanatic, I got a great theory that will blow your mind. I think that Roman was in Stream 1996. I agree with that. I do believe as well that he was in the scene when Did and Tatum was talking, and you see no, I agree with that. I think that was Roman too. I I agree with that. I do think that that was Roman because I think that he was keeping an eye on Cindy even after Marine died. I totally agree with that. I do think that was Roman. I think that it was even Roman following her and Tatum in the whole grocery store scene and stuff. I just don't see how if it was, Billy and Stu, like they just wouldn't have had enough time. I just don't, especially if Stu was getting ready for the party that night. I doubt it. And I don't know, I doubt it that it was Billy. I agree with that. That I think it was Roman in the wood scenes. I know. I definitely agree with that. I think that he was keeping an eye on his sister a lot more than what he was, than we think. And I think he had a lot more input into that night and how that night might have played out or was going to play out than obviously what was revealed. In so many ways, it's safe to say that Roman was probably directing Billy and Stu that night, the night of the 96 murders. That's not impossible at all. Not impossible. Because after the scene and cut to the video store scene, and it wasn't Billy and it wasn't Stu. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And we also got to keep in mind the whole grocery store scene. They just wouldn't have had enough time. I full-heartedly agree with that. I think Roman was definitely in Scream 1996, and he was stalking and lurking in the woods, kind of like Michael Myers. You know what I mean? I agree with that though, Ghostface. I definitely do. All right, gang, we're creeping up on it. Well, we're past the 2 hour mark for the stream, and I am all but pooped out, and I do want to get some other stuff and some other content and stuff done for the channel. So I'm going to close the stream down for tonight. But for all of you guys who left a comment and stopped by, thank you very much for your support, guys. You're greatly, greatly appreciated. You guys don't understand. I said it at the beginning of the video, and I'll say it again. Words cannot describe how much your support really means to me, how much make you guys you guys make me just want to keep pushing forward and keep doing this thing. And that's what I'm going to keep doing. I'm going to keep making this content to the best of my ability, to the best I know how. And just keep following me in this journey, guys. I appreciate you guys' support. If you just are tuning into the stream, you can watch the replay, etc. On the channel. But guys, again, thank you so much for your support. You guys, honestly, just words can't describe. And again, every Sunday, between 8 and 8:30. If I do end up having to change the times, I will obviously do my best to notify everybody. But every Sunday at 8 o'clock will be Slasher Sundays on the channel. So be sure to be here every Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern, on the Eastern time. If you guys want to tune in and watch the stream and want to get your theories in, get your questions in, hit the comment section and bust it up with me. Honestly, guys, you guys, this community, I love this community. I can't say enough. You know what I mean? I have a hard time even putting words together if you can't tell, honestly. But all right, guys, that's it for the stream. Once again, this is I shot him. You know what? No. We're gonna do this. Once again, this is I shot him 6 times YouTube horror movie channel. I am your host, Marcus. Please be sure, if you haven't already, to smash, shoot that like button and subscribe to the channel, as well as hit that notification icon. Get all the latest content updates. Your support is greatly appreciated. I am out for this one, guys, and I will catch you guys later. Everybody have a great night, and I will catch you guys on tomorrow's Monday live stream. Catch you guys later. Thank you again for the support, and thank you for the comments.